Good evening. Welcome to Sharing Life Issues with ChazB, presented by BM Entertainment. Glad to be here with you this evening. Want to start by saying, God, your heart with all diligence, for out of it flow the issues of life. MTI got one of Africa's emerging brands. Eizu is a brand. He's a strategy and business developer. He runs a company called Hexavia. Eizu is here with me. We are going to be talking to Eizu, and we're talking still to you, those of you who are business owners. He wants to empower you today. I brought him in order to conclude this whole series and to do you a favor. We're going to be talking about Hexavia Masterclass that I am, ChazB, going to be recommending for all of you. So here are the questions. Have you ever thought of going from an SME to like a world-class brand? Have you? Have you thought about, rather than just looking for a job, making an investment and then starting, to your own business, be an entrepreneur yourself? How do you expand your business from where you are right now to where you want to take it? Eizu, I want to welcome you, and I urge you to go ahead and maybe introduce yourself a little bit more, proper than I have. He's an awesome young man. He is my business consultant, just so you know. And Eizu, you're welcome here today.
Wow, feels good to be here. I feel sort of like a pretender.
Well, it's been a long time coming. We've been planning this for a while, but this is like the perfect opportunity, don't you think?
Yeah, perfect.
I tell you, Eizu, for the last 2 days, we have been putting Nigerians to work. It's been an awesome time. A lot of people have called, wanting to obviously be employed. There is this crisis in the land, and believe you me, I talk to owners of businesses, and they have been calling and sending their SMSs to the special number that I gave them. Of course, everybody else who's not supposed to call that number has been calling as well, but as you notice, nobody is going to pick up the line. It is for SMSs from business owners looking to employ people. So I want to talk to these people, these great people out there who have been very helpful to us in the last 2 days, and much, much more of them out there. And a lot of them are struggling, as we know, in this country, because business is never an easy thing. They're struggling, and they're praying, they're crying, some of them, and they want to know, what can I do to turn this little business of mine around? So Eizu, I'm going to give you the mic, because I know that you are a man yourself that is no stranger to lending your voice. So go ahead.
All right. So good evening, everyone. I think first thing first is to understand what the fundamentals are, as well as the new dynamics of business. You want to start a business, assume you already have value that you have to sell. You already have content. You're already a problem solver by default. I do not assume that you start a business just because you can't find a job. I mean, that's a very cliche sales pattern. The fact that you already understand that you have value is something that is extremely special about you that they cannot find anywhere else. But that's not even the point. Is how do you even turn that value into profits? And that's what business is all about. How do you move from your ideas into products, into businesses, then perhaps brands? You see, the problem is that it's it's almost trendy to say you're an entrepreneur these days. I was talking to my friend, and then he said that entrepreneurship is almost another word for being unemployed. If you can't get a job, it's quick to say I'm an entrepreneur until you find a job. No, people like that can't change this country. We need people who can shake the GDPs of this country. And that starts from you being able to create a world-class brand. We're not looking at people who just try to get by. We're not talking to employers who is trying to pay just trying to pay salaries and make profits and pay house rent and all that type of stuff. So first thing first is understand the fundamentals of business. First of all, you have content, you have vision, extreme vision, you have purpose. Right. Just in case you're in a crossroad, you're trying to get a job and you can't find a job. I mean, there's nothing extremely unique about that. Right now, there's a crisis in the world. It's totally global. There are no jobs, and that's a fundamental truth. Right. You know that cliche thing we tell us in school? They say go to school, get good grades, and you get good jobs. The truth about it is, I wish it was that easy. But all of us first class people. So it's not even now the first thing anymore. That's assuming you do 9 to 5, because right now we almost do 5 to 9. So you wake up 5 and then we come back by 9.
That's right.
Yes, yes. So it's the fact that first of all you move from your first pattern. It's first mental, then physical. The mental part is you need to stop looking for the jobs that do not exist. It's how do you add value best as a business. So assume that you have that. Then the purpose is the vision. And please, one thing extremely important, consistency if you want to start whatever it is that you're starting. So these are just more like the starter pack. So the starter pack is you have to have purpose, you have to have vision, you have to understand packaging. Branding is key right now. The only thing more important than what you ever sell is what you make the buyer believe that he's buying, and that's extremely important.
That's right.
It's the fact that you can package whatever you're selling. Don't just say you're an entrepreneur. Let people see that in you. Let it run through you. And obviously, you need to understand value. You need to be a people's person. Because businesses take the characteristics of the owner. If you're an extremely outgoing person, you most likely will do better in business. And if you're not, you just need to create a niche, a conservative feel to your business. That's the difference between the brands. You have different brands, they have different niche markets, and they have different perceptions. I don't know if I'm allowed to go brands here, but I mean, you can look at yes, when you look at the Standard Chartered and you look at the GT Bank, two good banks, extremely powerful banks, but they have we all have different perceptions of them. And that's how they choose to be seen. It's extreme strategy. So you need to understand how to be a people's person. You understand that the value of a thing most of the time is in how you can sell it. And then you need to also understand the fact that character is key. You see, we were not credible. A lot of businessmen are not credible. I mean, it starts off from looking for jobs. Every day young people tell me that they look for jobs. We sit down in boards to question people and to do interviews. And the sincere thing I tell them is, if you own the company, would you employ someone exactly like you? I mean, it practice empathy. You cannot create the kind of world you do not want to live in. So character is key. These are just fundamentals. No, let's move away from the fundamentals of vision, legacy, branding, value, and all that stuff. Let's look at the emerging trend. Now, I'm assuming, for example, that businesses are constantly changing. As a matter of fact, look through the world. Look at the brands that have emerged in the last 10 years. I mean, from the Owandos to ShopRite. These are brands that just 20 years ago, no one knew about them. So businesses are constantly changing. I mean, the biggest of all of them globally is perhaps the Facebooks, the Amazons, the Google. These are apparently less than 20 years, some of them. It's the fact that businesses have changed so much in the last 10 years than they have in the last 100 years. So that means that businesses will change much, much more in 1 year than they have in the last 10 years. And there's an emerging trend, and I want to share some of those trends with you here. And it's the fact that you need to move from the idea of making profits. Profit is not the end point. Profit is just a reward for what you do very well. It's the value that you add.
A lot of people are shouting right now.
Yeah, I remember the fundamentals. I mean, I have 4 masters and all that stuff. I have a first degree in mathematics, and I remember them talking to us about SI units. It just cracks me up. Like how they talk about mass and weight and time for seconds for time, and nobody talks about business, because business also has its own SI units. It's not profit. You don't start a business to make money. By default, you make money if you understand value. So maybe value is the SI unit of what you do. If you do what you do and you're the best at it and you do it consistently, naturally you will make money. It's just a matter of time. But the problem is it's a case of you put what you're not supposed to put first. It's not the profit, it's the value. So that's a new trend of business. You add value, then profit comes after. I mean, Facebook, do you even think about how Facebook is one of the biggest brands right now, and you do not pay to be on Facebook? I mean, that's a good case study. On Twitter and all these things, it's not the profits. Mark Zuckerberg, we know the story, so we don't have to talk about that. But it's the fact that you understand that value is key. Add value, add extreme value. Leave people with applause. Leave people asking for more. That Jay-Z calls that encore. It's the fact that you understand that fundamental. So moving from the new dynamics is move from profit orientations to value orientations. And this is not just external to your customers, also for the people that work for you. I mean, a few days ago, I was just listening to all of the ChazB series, and then it struck me that employers are listening to this as well as employees. So it's not just one-sided in the end, it's the employers. You want to add value, I'd better start in-house. People that work for you. You're an employer. If you had a chance to be an employee? Would you work for the type of company that you own?
Good question.
It's key. I mean, it's two ways. So add value, create the kind of world you want to live in, create the kind of system, the kind of company that people wake up in the morning and they want to go to work, even if they were not paid to do that.
Right.
I sit in boards and I talk to a lot of people, young people, older people, and good enough for me to grow a lot of brands in the last 4 or 5 years. Powerful brands, Local Africa Movie Academy Awards, ChazB's brand. So we understand all of this process. We're not just being theoretical. These are practical brands that have done extremely well, and it's good that God used us to be a part of that process in terms of business development and strategy. And the first thing we understand in all of these brands is that first things first is that you have to add tremendous value. Then move from profits. Then also your marketing, everything has changed so much.
Right.
The idea of adverts, people first of all by default right now do not like marketers.
Right.
Marketing in its core or raw states doesn't work anymore. So the fact that you send marketers out to get money by any means necessary, that's very cliche and old-fashioned. There's even the fact, I mean, if you watch the Nigerian adverts and the American adverts or the foreign adverts of the Western world, you
don't even know what they're talking about at the end of the commercial, right?
Yes, the fact that when you add value, keep people excited, keep people asking for more, add tremendous value. What do I actually mean? I'm talking about strategy here, marketing strategy, the blue ocean strategy.
Right.
Why would you have to be in an red ocean of sharks? I mean, you could just move away to the blue waters.
Right.
I'd give you an example, right? If you do business, right, instead of you trying to sell to a market that's already saturated, why don't you just look for new sets of terrains that people do not know or people are not very familiar with? I mean, just consider a lot of brands, and I'm just careful not to mention this name. The blue ocean strategy is key. Is for you to move from your area of congestion to uncontested niche markets.
Eizu, here's what we're going to do. Ladies and gentlemen, his name's Eizu. He's not even 30 years old, but he is the CEO, and he is, without a joke, one of Africa's emerging brands. Eizu helps governments. He helps, he travels around, the continent, helping just a lot of top business developers. He is helping me, ChazB, with our branding. He is working with and for a lot of companies out there. Eizu started something called Xavier. He's the CEO of Xavier, and he started Xavier Master Class. I went to, was that the first class?
Yeah, that's yes.
Okay, I went to his, what do they call that? That's the premiere, right? Yeah. The premiere class, that was 2 Saturdays ago. It was awesome. I kid you not. It was awesome. And this particular class is a class on business, brand, strategy, and project marketing, okay? We're talking about taking this show from radio, we're taking it next to television by God's grace, and we're taking it global, okay? And Eizu, with unfailingly, is a part of this. I'm going to open the phone lines now because I know a lot of you who have small business out there, especially those of you who are employing a lot of people out of work for us. You have questions, okay? So we're going to keep your questions at 1 minute and call the number 01-460-9937. From all around Nigeria, you have a minute to ask your question. Eizu is in the house. He is very powerful. Your questions can be answered. Some of them may take longer to answer, but let's try to keep the question down to 1 minute. And as the phone lines are going, we're looking to go there with you, caller number 1. Good evening, how you doing? Hello?
Hello, ChazB.
Hi, my man. Hi, how are you?
Fine, how are you?
I'm doing real good. What's your name, please, and where you calling from?
Michael calling from Ikeja.
Michael from Ikeja. Michael, you have a business question, sir?
Yes, I do. Please, I want you to give me a bit of advice. I want to set up a savings and loan business. Whereby give people little mortgage and they could pay back based on the timeline we agreed on.
Okay, and you have experience for this, obviously?
Yes, I do.
Okay, very good, sir. Just hold for your answer, sir. Hold for your answer. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, real quick. I mean, I like working with raw ideas against.
It's kind of vague, but just give it a shot.
Yes. So real quick, you want to start saving the loan-based business. First of all, I'm hoping you have a framework for this. You have a business plan for this. I know it's all in your head. First things first is have a business plan. It's okay if you don't have to write it yourself. I mean, you can always get a business developer, we do that as well. But most important is have a business plan, have a framework. Then expert knowledge is key. I like when ChazB asked if you have experience in that. I mean, it's key for you to know, at least have an idea of what you want to start. But in case you don't, please get a team of people who understand that, and not just in terms of expert knowledge, but also vision and passion. So I want you to be able to articulate your thoughts, understand what you're doing, do a market analysis of it. Then you also need to know the policies. I actually do know that the only thing that has to do with savings and loans is under financial services. So you need to understand what the policies are. You just don't start up a savings and loan company. There are certain terms, because it's delicate, extremely delicate industry to go into. It's money. I mean, you're dealing with people's money. So I want you to articulate your thoughts into a business plan, a draft, and perhaps run it through people who are experts. Get the expert knowledge, criticism, understand the operations, process, assets, as well as enterprise factors that you need to do. Then branding is key. I'm hoping you have a company registered, just in case you haven't. Ideas are very volatile. People steal ideas every single day. You need to first of all understand that you need to be legally recognized with your ideas. So that's the step.
That's good. That's good. All right.
I'm sure giving out our number so you can call me personally so we can talk further.
We will do that.
Visit the website.
We will do that. Hello, how you doing?
Hello, good evening.
Yes, sir. You have a minute for a question, sir. Eizu is in the house.
Okay,
Xavier, yeah.
I'd like to ask what his opinions are on quality customer service. Because in my opinion, in Nigeria, the quality of customer service, most of our stores, supermarkets, eateries, is really appalling. I'd like to know what he thinks about customer service and business development in Nigeria.
Very good. Thank you very much, sir. By the way, we're looking to do that on Sharing Life Issues coming up in a few episodes next month, okay, sometime in September. But Eizu, go ahead.
All right, Mr. Michael, I mean, it's not unique, it's not new to us. We understand the crappy service that we're totally stuck with. But then again, I say this sincerely and bluntly and very unapologetically, maybe the customer service that we're talking about is just a spin-off of all of us as individuals. We're all mediocre relatively when it comes to business, and that's very blunt. So we're just getting the mirror of what we really are. It's easy to walk into the bank and you figure out that they're not talking to you most appropriately. But then again, isn't that how the government talks to us? Isn't that how we talk to ourselves? But if you run a business, you owe people customer service, and that's excellence. You need to create a culture for excellence. Every day we see crabs sold to us as customer service. It's not even customer service anymore. So I'm talking to the employers of labor, please, your budget should have at least a budget or at least policies, ground rules for customer service.
Okay, that's it. That's true. Absolutely agreed. Hello, good evening. How you doing?
Hello, good evening, I'm fine.
Yes, your name, sir, where are you calling from?
My name is Ron, I'm calling from Benin.
Your name is?
Ron, I'm calling from Benin.
Eroms from Benin. You have a question, sir. 1 minute. Go ahead.
Okay. I was talking with a friend. Am I on the here?
Yes, you are.
Okay. I was talking with a friend about a mobile app. That created features when we talked about it in depth. But the problem our family was trying to get a system like, okay, let me use a telecom provider to help us really execute our idea. And I'm an engineer, I read engineering actually. So I was trying to find out, or I wanted to help you to advise me what to do, how to reach out to these guys in coach. How to get their attention. If you can help me out, maybe see my idea without stealing the goal.
Without stealing it. You're begging them not to steal it, right? Okay, my man. Here comes your answer. It's an application, right? Looking for how to put it out there in the market. Okay, fine. Thank you very much. Listen for your answer.
I have orientations in the techie industry, so I know the challenges.
Techie guy.
First thing first, there's still an issue of packaging. I'm sure if you had a chance, if you have a chance to sit on from the other side of that court, the telecoms, you'll be shocked at the amount of proposals they get every day. So do not by default assume that you have an extremely striking idea that should fly. Is your packaging, is your consistency. Here's a trick that works. if you have a great idea, do not assume that people will like that idea. Start first. Build a brand. I mean, we saw that happen with Jumia. Jumia, it's part of it's a spin-off of other companies, if you know how the Jumia process is. But those were people who started stuff from scratch, and then they gained momentum to Jumia or whoever the original investors, venture capitalists were, to figure out that this is a huge idea. So do not talk to people about your ideas when it's still a virgin. Start. This is virgin your idea.
Okay, that's a good one, Richard. Yeah, Branson. Hello, how you doing? Good evening.
Hello, good evening, ChazB.
Hey, my man. Where are you calling from? What's your name?
My name is Augustus Daddy. I'm calling you from Port Harcourt.
Augustus?
Augustus Daddy.
Okay, Augustus Daddy from Port Harcourt. Go ahead, sir.
I've got two questions quickly. First, I'm not actually in the country. I came down on my summer holiday.
Okay.
While outside the country, I used to talk to my younger ones to say, why not come up with some business plan? I actually give them the initiative and tell them, some of you can go into home business while you want to do your study and all that.
Right.
So you can actually have money for yourself instead of going to this mom. When you don't have money for yourself, you want to call, oh, you're my brother in the UK and you can give me some money. Why not set up these things and go on with it?
So what's the question?
All they keep telling me is they can't do that. Now, what would I do as someone that wants to empower them since they are more interested? That's the first one. So the second question is, if I'm there a business plan, actually I need the money to execute it. How do I fund it?
Okay, how do you get them interested when they're not interested?
Interested. That's the first one. Then the second one, I've got a business plan. I've done a proposal and I'm everything said, but it needs funding. How do you encourage the government to fund such prospective business plan entrepreneurs or something?
Okay, got you. Thank you very much, sir. Here's your answer. If you don't mind, I'll take the first one. Getting them interested when they're not interested is like taking a thirsty horse to water, and you shove the horse's head inside the water, and as thirsty as we all know the horse is, the horse still doesn't drink, okay? So forget about that. You know, you're getting somebody, forcing them to be interested when they're not interested. That, you know, I mean, I don't know, maybe Eizu has a different answer. You know, that's too difficult a challenge.
I mean, this is just metaphorical. It's putting a ladder, trying to climb a ladder that's leaning on the wrong wall. You spend your whole life climbing a ladder that's leaning on the wrong wall. People who have shoes don't have legs. People who have legs don't have shoes. Every day I meet people who have ideas and nobody to fund them. But on the other side, there are people who have a lot of funds and do not have the right people. I mean, that's almost like your case. So it's like, I mean, we're doing this on a personal level, creating platforms where venture capitalists can come up with, meet people who have great ideas. So I think you're actually looking at the wrong place. Maybe whoever you're interested in is not interested and there's nothing you can do about it. That's what ChazB is trying to say. Maybe there are a lot of people who are dying with business plans and all that stuff, except that you just don't know how to meet them. It's the right platforms. There are associations, there are platforms, and right now Nigeria is changing a lot. I mean, British Council, a lot of companies, a lot of non-profit organizations are creating a marketplace where venture capitalists, what you call investors, can meet people who have great ideas. Right. Maybe you're not aware. Google, we live in an information age, so I'm not even assuming, or I do not even want to hear that you do not know how to meet these people. There are platforms. I mean, we live in a country where there's a huge divide between the rich and the poor, right? So the rich people, where do they take their money to? It's a case of they actually are waiting for you to come up with your good ideas, but the funny thing is you don't know where to find them. Right. So how do you find them? There are platforms. I know of the CC Hub. Okay. It's one of the biggest emerging platforms of techie people who have great ideas. They funded a lot of companies. I mean, that's where a lot of all these great companies came out from. So I think you need to first of all switch your boss. I mean, go towards the right direction. Look for venture capitalists. They all are within certain clubs. And also, this is also a trick. I've figured out that you need to be well to donate blood in general. Yeah. It's the fact that you're looking for you're looking for investors, right? And you're talking to people who really cannot help you.
Okay.
Is the fact that, yeah, join social clubs. I mean, there are a lot of people who have money. The circle, that's what you call connection, right?
That's right, connection. All right, hi, how you doing? Good evening. Shola Emmanuel from Jos. Speak up for me, please, Shola. Speak up. Go ahead.
I want to ask him a question.
Go ahead.
My problem is that I'm an entrepreneur.
Right.
I have a long time experience in my profession.
Right.
But I have a problem with skills. There is getting people that have skills in my profession.
What profession is this?
I'm into fashion and design.
Fashion and designer. So what's difficult to get, the tailors or the designers?
Yeah, both the two. Because the true word is that you hardly get people that have good skills. And even managing yourself at the top stage is also a problem because you can't really get things that can give you what you want.
Okay, okay. So what, the question is what?
How to get, like, the challenge of getting highly skilled in design.
Okay, highly skilled people in the fashion industry. All right, well.
I think this is relative to even the last call I've heard. It's almost the case of demand cannot meet supply.
Right.
That's what it says. There are repositories of all of this. I mean, I don't have to be a tailor to know that there are certain places where I can find these people. Are you looking at artisans or are you looking at professionals? I mean, if you're looking at the real professional designers, the people who go to fashion schools. I mean, you go to a lot of, I could reference. There's a new company called the Fieldman. I mean, they train, the amount of people they pull out every single month is amazing. So maybe you're not looking at the right repository. There's something else, and this is almost crude to say, is the mirror effect. It's easy for you to be like a man who can't find a wife. The question is, you're quick to say that you can't find a wife, but are you also the right man? That's something else to ask. I mean, we attract our kinds. We attract our kinds. I have a great team, and this is still in the middle of people saying that you cannot find the right people to work with them. You still can find the right people if only you can be the right person. You attract your kind. Something I want you to, and also if you can't find the kind of world you want to live in, why don't you create that yourself? I mean, create an association of these people.
That's right.
I know what it is working with artisans. It can be difficult. I know that, in fact. But then again, you can manage them. That's why the masterclass is about project management, business, brand, and strategy.
We're going to talk about that right now. The masterclass right now that we're talking about is the Hexavia Masterclass. Comes up on the 24th of August. That's the next class. Listen, I went to the first one. It's only 30,000 Naira. What you learn there, I kid you not, I was there the first one. I'm not telling the story. Now, I am going to subsidize certain payments, okay? I talked to Eizu before the show, and I said, for each and every one of you that want to go, when you call or BB this number, you tell them ChazB is sending you, and I will pay 5,000 Naira for you, okay? Because this is a class for those of you who are true entrepreneurs and you need to take your businesses to the next level. I really want you to go to this class. And so if you mention me when you send a BB, okay, get ready when you send a BB. We're almost out of time now, but we'll take one more call. I tell you what, let's take one more call before I give the BB numbers. Hello, how you doing? Good evening. Are you there? Hi, how are you?
Hi, thank you.
Awesome. You're my last caller because I got some info to give away on the masterclass. Go ahead with your question.
Hi, ChazB.
How you doing?
Yeah. My name is King. I'm calling from Lake.
Candy from Lefty. Go ahead.
Yes. My cousin came into the country last time from the US and she came to supply type of snack. Okay. So we got in touch with the company.
Right.
If we could be the sole distributor here in Nigeria.
Right.
Okay. Now what I want to find out is what are the things we need to have on ground if we're going to enter this kind of business?
Okay, besides NAFDAC, right? Because you need
including all everything that just needs to get in place, because we really don't have an idea.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Excellent question. Eizu's going to take a shot at that. All I know is NAFDAC. You need a number.
Okay, this is interesting. I'll probably just list them out real quick. You're going into agreement, so the legal implications of that has to be considered. So you need legal bindings. You need to get a lawyer to perhaps get a draft that the law would recognize as a legal document. You need a business case. That's what you use to convince whoever you're convincing. You need to understand that you need to be able to have a business case that says this will be profitable.
Right.
That this they're great ideas, but not every they're good ideas, but not every good idea is a great idea. You need to understand what your net present value is, what your return on investment would be, what your payback period would be, how long will it take you to recoup your funds, what are the terms. You need a business plan. I mean, this sounds very cliche. Every day we see businesses start up in this country and they do not make headway because they're not even documented. We don't even have the right framework. Please, you need a business plan. Document. You need that. It's extremely important. You need your financials. You need your financials. Then, most importantly, ideas are run by people. As a matter of fact, people do not even invest in ideas anymore based on new dynamics of business. Right. People invest in people. Right. So when you talk about how connections, how you can't find jobs, you can't get deals as a businessman, it's actually the truth. People are not concerned about the ideas. People do not invest in ideas, they invest in people. So you need a great team. You need a board. One of the things I recommend is get one of the influential people that you know. It's like when you write CVs, right? You put referees in your resumes, right? Please get someone who's strategic who can move mountains. When you go to boards and you mention those names, they probably can understand them, not just because of their class or their funds or whatever, but also credibility. I mean, Patutomi's done extremely well.
Absolutely.
Just off building a brand. He sits on boards. Yes. I mean, we know these people, the Faladrotes, the Leke elders. These are people who's built brands, and we have a lot of those people. You need a team to work with. Get the right people on the bus will move. Mm. Get the right people on the bus, get the wrong people off the bus, decide where the bus is going, and you will move. Get a business plan. We offer business plan as a service.
They do. They are Xavier, okay? They are Xavier. Eizu is the CEO of Xavier, and you can be in touch, okay? He has an assistant called Olaide. You can give that young lady a call at this number, or you can send Eizu himself an SMS at this number, 0803 520 2891. Again, that number is 0803 520 2891. One more time, that number is 0803 520 2891. His name is Eizu. That is Eizu. And he is the CEO of Xavier. This young man comes very well equipped. I can recommend him to anyone at any time. He's one of Africa's emerging brands, I kid you not, and he is into teaching you in your business, branding, strategy, how to develop the business, you know, and I tell you what, I mean, what can I say? You got to go to Xavier Masterclass. For all of you that are business owners, yes, I am pushing the class because I see it as something that is not only credible, but very, very educational. You will learn stuff, all right? I'm way, way older than Eizu, but he's teaching me stuff in business, okay? Trust me. For only 30,000 Naira, and you go there and say, ChazB sent you, I will pay 25,000 Naira towards your, you know, I mean, I will pay 5,000 Naira towards your 25, okay? So I'm just asking you to meet me halfway. Go ahead, contribute.
No, about the payment,
yeah.
You need to also cash the system, so you don't come up, you don't show up on that day with your cash, you know.
Yes, so bring your
limited slots we have very limited slots.
And that's true.
Taking up.
The last time.
So you call Olaide and then you make your reservations way before time. I mean, the earlier the better. You
right.
do that as soon as you can.
Does it hold in the same place?
Yes, extremely. Yes, that's another very good thing. It's not just about the knowledge, because we've talked about people. It's networking.
I never knew that place was
existing. Resort, the classy place to
really
meet
cool.
people, quality
really
people.
Cool.
So because we're building a world and a brand and sets of businesses. So it's not also about just entrepreneurs. You can send your employees and your team members. Right. We have also discounts for team members and slots.
Okay, very good. Very good.
Xavier, you should check them out, www.xavier.net.
And Xavier is HEXAVIA. That's HEXAVIA. You can hit him up on Twitter too, at Hexavia, Hexavia. You will not regret it. It's called the Hexavian Master Class. It happens next on the 24th of August. You want to be there, you don't want to be told about it. You got a whole bunch to learn. And a big shout out from all my classmates from the very first class.
Yeah, go get Africa.
That's right. All of them were fully represented.
Yeah.
We just want to say big shout out to you. It was really cool, man. All those people were all right, you know. ChazB says a big shout out. Eizu, it's really nice having you here. We obviously look forward to furthering our venture, you know. And I just want to thank you, honestly, openly, publicly, for all the things that you've really helped us do, and even in building the ChazB brand. As a lot of people know, you know, I see a lot of the structure playing out, you know, as we had talked about 2 years ago. So it is playing out, and obviously it is working. So I want to encourage the rest of you again, and here are the questions. How do you expand your business? Is that on your mind? How do you go from a small business, SME, to like a world-class brand, which is, by the way, where I'm headed. So I will see you at the